How to create a class. In the first, we will talk about how to create a function, because the way of creating a function will simplify the way of creating a class. Okay, in the first, how to create a function. To create a function, we have to write def, this keyword, to say to Python, we want to create a function. After that, we will put the name of the function. After that, parentheses. After that, dots above each other. Then, the code that we want to put in this function. Okay, this is how can you create a function. What about how can we create a class? To create a class, we have to write this keyword that is class, to say to Python that we want to create a class. After that, the name of the class. After that, not parentheses, we will put dots above each other like this. Why not parentheses? In the functions, we use the parentheses to ask for arguments. But in the classes, we don't use the parentheses to ask for arguments. We use them to make the class to inherit from another class, to inherit something or features or behaviors or attributes from another class. But now we are not using inheritance here, and because of that we are not using parentheses. We will put dots above each other like this, immediately after the class's name. After that, we will put our code inside the class, and we know that our code inside the class separated into two parts. And the first part is for attributes. For example, we will put these attributes. The first attribute is called attribute number 1, and the second attribute is called an attribute is a regular variable, and it is. The attributes are regular variables, but they are called attributes because they are inside a class. Now we will add the behaviors, and these are the behaviors. The first behavior is called behavior number 1, and the second is called a behavior is a regular function. And yes, it is. A behavior is a regular function because it is a function, but the functions are called behaviors because they are inside a class, but they are actually functions. And this is everything about how to create a class. Now we want to apply what we have learned. To create a class, we will write class. After that, the name of the class. Let us say we will call this class student. After that, dots above each other. After that, our attributes. Student name. For example, this is the first attribute. The second attribute will be student age, for example. Now we will add the behaviors that this class can perform. The first behavior will be, for example, behavior number 1. And this behavior prints the name of the student, or the attribute that is called student name. The second behavior will be called behavior 2, and the second behavior prints the second attribute that is called student age. Okay, now we have created a class. But you can notice here that we have an error that says undefined name, student name. It says here that this function or this behavior cannot see this variable or this attribute. And yes, actually it doesn't see this attribute because this attribute is inside this class, and also this behavior is inside this class. But this behavior doesn't see the other behavior, and these behaviors don't see the other behaviors and the attributes. And this time, if we try to run the first behavior by writing student, the name of the class, after that dot, look, when you put dot, you can see the things that are inside the class. For example, the attribute student age and the second attribute that is called student name, and also the behaviors. We will try to use the first behavior. Now we will run the code. Okay, we have an error that says student name is not defined because this behavior doesn't see this variable. How can I make this behavior to see the other behaviors and other attributes? Look here on the 17th line, we have reached the behavior number 1 from the class itself because the behavior number 1 is inside the class. Okay, we cannot say run the behavior number 1 like this because it will give us an error that says undefined name behavior number 1 because this behavior is inside the class. And this time we have to reach these attributes here from the class also. We have to put the name of the class dot the name of the attribute, and also here the name of the class dot the name of the attribute. And also if we want to reach the other behavior from a behavior, we have also to write the name of the class dot the name of the behavior that we want to reach from another behavior. Okay, now when we run this code, the first behavior will start and it will print student name. Run, and everything is fine, but we don't have a value here. We will write, for example, Mohammed like this. Now run, and yes, this is the value of the student name. or the attribute that is called student name. And now we have created a class successfully.